Hello everyone, I'm Benjamin Cure. Welcome to the Benjamin Cure Show. We've got a great one today. Let's jump right in. Here's a blockbuster. After weeks of negotiations and one of the largest trades in NFL history, the Seattle Seahawks and the Denver Broncos have agreed to terms for a deal involving Super Bowl winning quarterback Russell Wilson. The trade gives Denver the quarterback that they've been looking for since Peyton Manning retired, and it gives Seattle the opportunity to rebuild without Wilson, who led them to their only Super Bowl title. And although it's very coincidental timing, it's said that this deal was not affected by my next story. Aaron Rodgers was at a crossroads. Was he going to test the waters by forcing a trade, going to an exciting new team, looking for a fresh start? Or all along, did all roads lead back to home? It looks like he's made his decision. Football personality and friend of Aaron Rodgers, Pat McAfee, tweeted this out earlier today. According to my sources, Aaron Rodgers will be returning officially to the Green Bay Packers. There is no deal in place currently, but there is said to be a cap-friendly deal on the way. Retirement was a real consideration, and in the end, he is back with the Pack. Just a minute later, NFL Network's Ian Rappaport shed some light on the numbers game. The Packers and MVP quarterback Aaron Rodgers have agreed to terms on a 4-year, $200 million deal that makes him the highest-paid player in NFL history, sources say. He gets a whopping $153 million guaranteed, and his cap number goes down. A monstrous commitment by Green Bay for years to come. But after that tweet about the terms of the deal, Aaron Rodgers himself took to Twitter to say the following. Hey everyone, just wanted to clear some things up. Yes, I will be playing with the Packers next year. However, reports about me signing a contract are inaccurate, as are the supposed terms that I signed into the contract. I'm very excited to be back. #Year 18. Was there ever a doubt? Yes, Aaron wanted a new situation. He wanted a fresh start. He wanted to be in the Super Bowl conversation every offseason. He wanted to prove that with the right talent, he could win a Super Bowl, another one at least. But as Russell Conwell once said, you can journey to the ends of the earth in search of success. But if you're lucky, you will discover happiness in your own backyard. Aaron wasn't going to leave the Packers. He liked having no owner. He enjoyed being the guy in Green Bay. He'll still have Davante Adams, who will reportedly be franchise tagged later today. He'll have control in Green Bay, and I believe that after last season, he liked Matt LaFleur, and he grew to have a solid, collaborative relationship with his head coach, which I believe was important, especially if Aaron was going to consider staying, especially when talking about the collaborative part. I also believe that while Aaron Rodgers likes attention, he doesn't like hate. He wants to be loved. He wants to be loved by fans, loved by the city, loved by the state of Wisconsin, loved by the Cheesehead fans. He didn't want to leave Green Bay as a hated man. He didn't want to leave as someone who could never come back. So as McAfee said, he's back with Pack. Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Calvin Ridley has been suspended for a year for gambling on NFL games during the season. The suspension is indefinite. However, the league says that it'll be at least a year before Ridley returns to the field. The NFL released a statement Monday announcing his suspension. The league says that Ridley gambled on games over a 5-day stretch in November of 2021. For context, during this time, he was on the non-football injury list to address his mental health. I do remember that it was unexpected when he announced that he was taking time away from football during the season. I heard the fantasy football community and simply the football community at large kind of perplexed during this time. In that time, the context was that Ridley stepped away from football on Halloween, saying he needed to get his personal life in order. But because we didn't hear of any family members or close friends passing away or falling ill, it just seemed a bit unusual. But certainly permissible and possible during today's day and age, when athletes' well-being, both physically and mentally, are of the utmost importance, no questions asked. The NFL came to the conclusion that Ridley placed parlay bets totaling $1,500 involving 3, 5, and 8 games that included the Falcons to win. These bets were reportedly placed via his mobile device out of state. Calvin Ridley himself wanted to address the situation publicly, so he took to Twitter to share his thoughts. He started off with, I bet $1,500 total. I don't have a gambling problem. I couldn't even watch football at that point. Just gonna be more healthy when I come back. I know I was wrong, but I'm getting 1 year, LOL. If you know me, you know my character. Now, lots of stuff on social media, people questioning the suspension as compared to previous NFL punishments. What immediately comes to mind are the cases of domestic violence that the league has seen, that us fans have seen, and how the league has dealt with them. Cases of violence against fiancés, spouses, and children. Those resulted in 2, 4, and 6 game suspensions. I'm not arguing that Ridley's suspension should be shorter, but I am calling into question the NFL's practices of determining what warrants these punishments. Because even if the league didn't intend for it to look this way, it looks like they care more about their bottom dollar than protecting the people who were harmed by these individuals who represent your company and the entire sport of football. This is an instance where when you peel back the layers and compare it to other situations, we have to ask the NFL to do better. We have to ask the league to be better. UFC 272. Vegas saw back-to-back UFC events take place in its backyard between last weekend's Apex fights and the Covington-Masvidal pay-per-view. The feud could go down as one of the worst friend-turned-foe relationships in the UFC, and maybe even the sport of mixed martial arts. To recap the story for those unaware, Covington and Masvidal trained together at American Top Team. The two were the best of friends, inseparable. The story goes that after one of Colby's fights within the UFC, Colby's manager spoke to a UFC matchmaker, who told Colby's manager that he should start preparing Covington for a life after fighting, because he wasn't selling pay-per-views and he wasn't creating buzz with fans, so the UFC wasn't going to extend him a contract. This is allegedly why we saw Colby go from a timid, no-drama fighter to public enemy number one, calling out the entire roster, no friends in the industry type of fighter. He needed to sell pay-per-views, needed to drive clicks, and unfortunately, a kind, humble fighter does not earn that. Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather. I know I'm talking about different sports, but both fighters achieved superstardom through becoming the villain, the antagonist of the story. So, Colby starts calling fighters out, friends, and allegedly, what broke the camel's back with Masvidal was that Colby didn't pay Masvidal's striking coach for a fight that he helped him train and prepare for. The rest is history. The story is one of those that fans have become very invested in, and it's begged the question, if the story played out as we've been told it allegedly did Colby sell his soul to continue his career in the UFC? Back to T-Mobile Arena, Masvidal walked out first. His body language felt very tense. I'm not sure if he was angry or upset, but he was definitely feeling strong sense of emotion. Colby comes out to the Kurt Angle's theme. He was breathing heavy, trying to get focused. Some of you may be wondering, Ben, why do you focus on the walkouts? I do because I think that body language is really important. We talk about other sports being very physical, like football, or even basketball, like a matchup on the court. It's going to be a battle. But this sport is so unique. It is literally a battle. Two individuals are meeting in the octagon, not for a game, but for a fight. They are going to physically attack each other. And in the moments prior, when the adrenaline is rushing through them during these walkouts, I believe that poise and body language can be very telling. And just maybe, it can provide us with a window into that fighter's thoughts and what they're feeling. Back to the fight. Masvidal and Colby did not touch gloves. Not surprising if you know the backstory or watched the pre-fight press conference. Mutual hatred seems like a strong or even inaccurate term when discussing sports feuds. But to those that watched this one play out, it's definitely not an exaggeration to say that these two fighters felt that towards each other. Colby dominated the fight. Very lopsided. Masvidal did land one big right hand in the fourth round, but he was so exhausted from defending the takedowns and going toe-to-toe with Colby that he couldn't even walk forward, much less throw a follow-up strike. It went all 5 rounds. There were even some chatter taking place between the two after the final bell. I did see that people on Twitter and in comment sections were really critical of Masvidal's anger after the fight. They were asking, where was that post-fight aggression and that energy during the 25 minutes of the actual fight? Masvidal is a great fighter and is a legend of mixed martial arts. But Colby's on a different level. Like Dana White even said himself during interviews leading up to the fight, if Kamaru Usman does not exist, Colby Covington is the welterweight champion of the world. And in my opinion, in that alternate reality, Colby is a dominant champ. I'm talking about numerous title defenses. So this main event was a unanimous decision win for Covington. There are a lot of other potential fights that could occur as a result. Do we see Conor come back from injury and walk into a title shot? Or more realistically, does Conor have to earn his way to a title through a non-title fight, like Masvidal, which works out well for both parties involved? Does Colby get his wish and fight Dustin Poirier next? Does Colby get the winner of the recently announced Gilbert Burns vs. Khamzat fight? Does he get the loser, since the winner may earn their respective title shot against Kamaru Usman? Once again, a testament to the UFC matchmakers who have a lot of great scenarios that they can play with. Major League Baseball's newest TV partner, Apple. At the company's event today, it announced a deal with the league to carry Friday Night Baseball doubleheaders on Apple TV Plus starting this season. Games will be exclusively broadcast on the streaming service. For those who have been following baseball's TV rights and licensing deals, we saw this coming. Front Office Sports had done a great job documenting these negotiations between MLB and Apple over the course of the past couple months. I'm sure Apple is excited about now officially finding a link that would allow them to stream games. They've been looking for a gateway into the sports world for quite some time. I'm sure they're looking forward to the possibilities, as is Major League Baseball, who hopes that they make the game younger and fresher with every single business deal that they make. Well, that's all for the Benjamin Cure Show this week. I hope you enjoyed it. A lot of football news dominating the beginning of today's episode. Glad I could break down the latest with all of you. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to like and subscribe, and turn on the bell for post notifications so you don't miss an episode. I'm Benjamin Cure. I'll see all of you next week.